and stamped by the police or reputable agency in your country of residence. Now, what does that mean? You can also go to your consulate over there in the States, wherever you're at in overseas. You can go to the consulate. There's always a consulate that represents the country of your origin. So your country of origin is Jamaica. So you're going to look for the Jamaica consulate where you can do the fingerprint and everything, and they will send it to Duke Street here. You can also submit all of those to them. The police within your area can do it, submit it for you. It is, they know where to submit once you tell them exactly what it is that you're looking for. If you don't wish to go that route, the name of the person taking the fingerprint must be clearly stated on the document. 2 passport size photograph may be signed, but not necessarily. Your biodata page of the passport must be certified by a JP. What do we mean by that? They see that part that says name, age, date of birth. That is the page that they want of the passport, not the part where you arrive on the stamp or so. They need the page where your information about who you are, your name, address, etc., and the valid of the passport. Oh, the passport must be valid. So don't send us a passport that expired. If the passport expired, the consulate you can have the passport done overseas, your Jamaican passport, once you have your birth certificate and everything. Do not mail your original passport through the mail to relative to see if you can get it done backdoor or otherwise. Once you send off a mail and it's a passport, the immigration is going to hold the passport. Remember, you're a holder of the passport. You're not the owner. You're a holder. So the passport belongs to the government. And if you're mailing the government property, they're going to hold on to it until the holder, who is you, to come and get it. So be careful not to mail your passport, your original passport. Always remember, do not send your passport through a mail. Say you're sending it to John Brown to help you to get renew the passport. The passport can renew exactly where you're at. All you need is your original birth certificate. So if somebody's coming down, you can ask them to bring up your birth certificate for you, and you apply for your passport over there. There are consulate over there that they are empowered to give you that assistance to get a new passport. So bear in mind that you can get a Jamaican passport overseas. You don't have to go through that rigmarole where they'll tell you that you have to pay 200,000 because the passport is in the oven. You have to be careful how you make certain decisions to get things done. I remember now we're back now to getting the record, the police record if you're overseas, and I said to you that the biodata page of the passport must be certified by a justice of the peace over there, must be notarized. So bear in mind that it's important that you get that done. What they'll say, they look at the original of your passport to see that this is they certify that this is a true copy. They will stamp it also, so you can't get somebody who is not a justice and sign it to say it's a true copy, because they're going to need a seal with the justice number. So the justice will have to have a seal to seal it to say that this is a true copy of your passport. So all of that is needed. So don't get somebody to sign it because we said it needs to be certified. This certification must be done. It must be notarized by a justice of the peace who will use his or her seal to state that this is really a true copy of who you are. And bear in mind, again, like I said, don't forget that you must, not maybe, must, your passport must be active if you're applying for the record for usage. Your passport must be ready and ready for that. It can't be an expired passport, so bear in mind. All right, if you sent by FedEx or DHL, Say, for instance, you don't want to go through the necessary, you're sending by FedEx or DHL. A return label must be sent if the document is to send back to receiving destination via the same method. Bank draft, money order made payable to the Commissioner of Police. The fees you must pay the Jamaican dollars 3,000, regular service 21 working days, express service 5 working days, I think it's 6,000. Next day service, I'm not sure, it's temporary on suspension, temporary suspended, next day service, so I don't think they're doing that. I think that was for about 8,000 or so, but I think that is temporary off. So the express service is 5 working days, that's what they're saying, maybe more. I think that's 6,000. The regular service 21 working days, which is about 3,000. If you're sending that, then you have to make a money order payable, and then I think it's to the Commissioner of Police, who will send it to the government. So you have to know what it is that you fee may be paid in US, Canadian pound, or any note in Jamaica via money order made payable. Again, they said I don't know if that has changed, to the Commissioner of Police, as well as a third party locally who will make the payment at the tax office. That payment goes straight to the tax office, because the tax office is the person who the fees need to send to. The fees don't change. Not because you're overseas, the fees change. So I don't want persons who are applying for their police record overseas, for your relative to tell you that the fees, because you're overseas, the fees is 10 times the amount. The fees don't change. It remains the same as if you were here. Nothing changed for the fees. It's just some different dynamics in terms of the processing of the record, the police record, and the fact that you are overseas. Then they will ask you to provide some other things. All right, how to send fingerprints from abroad? It can be sent via courier service, regular mail, or a third party. Fingerprint is a part of obtaining a police record once you're overseas. We're going to need that. If you're here, we will take the fingerprint. If you're not here, then we will need that, because we cannot process without that, because that is what we use to do our investigation. That is what we are going to use to do the investigation. So you must have the fingerprint done, and you can't have your friend doing the fingerprint and send to us. It must be done by a reputable organization, which is a police department. That's an agency that can do it, and they will seal it and send to our records office at Duke Street. It can be done by the consulate. It can be done by these persons. So you can't have a civilian doing your fingerprint and then send it to us. It cannot be dealt with that way. It must be done by a reputable agency that is acknowledged by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. If the applicant does not have a TRN, a payment must be made at the Jamaica Constabulary Force Finance Branch, which is the ground floor at NCB North Tower 2, Oxford Road, Kingston 5. The receipt and the document must be taken to the Technical Service Division, the Criminal Records Office, which is at 56 Duke Street. If the applicant has a TRN, payment must be made at the tax office, and the receipt and document taken to the same Criminal Records Office, right, at 56 Duke Street, Kingston. That's downtown Kingston. At the top of Duke Street, you can go there and drop off the necessary documents for applying for same. A letter, if you are not the individual, a letter of authorization must be provided if the police record is to be collected by someone other than the applicant. And again, the bearer must have a valid ID. If you are not coming to get what you apply for, the person who you're sending, you must give them a letter signed by you. It can be notarized by a justice of the peace, and the person who is coming that you would have given permission must have a valid ID. Not one of the work ID that he or she get from his workplace. It must be a driver's license, a passport, or the other ID that they use, the government ID. They must use that. Do you understand? All right. For the police certificate to be used abroad, the passport is the only acceptable form of identification. Do you understand that the police certificate for the record, the police record, that's what we call a certificate, to be used abroad, the passport is the only acceptable form of identification that is used for that aspect of the police record. Now it's time to take a break, and we will be right back.
Budget Supplies massive price buster now on. Want to redo that kitchen? Retile that old floor? Stop that leaking roof? Make over the bathroom? It's now or never. White toilet from $14,999. 5-gallon paint from $6,599. Gypsum board $1,749. 15% off UPVC French windows. 10% off kitchen sinks, water tanks, and pumps. 195 Hackleburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
St. Andrews South. Do you want to know what the police is doing for you in serving and protecting you, our valued residents? Then tune in to the St. Andrews South Beats this and every Thursday, 11 a.m. right here on Roots 96.1 FM. Join Commanding Officer Superintendent Kirk Ricketts and the dedicated officers at the St. Andrews South Police who will facilitate your questions and inquiries. That's the St. Andrews South Beat this and every Thursday, 11 a.m. on Roots 96.1 FM, the voice of the inner city.
Welcome back to St. Andrews South Beat. If you're joining us, we're actually we're looking at a different aspect of the JCF. We just went through a process of the supporting documents and what the requirements to look about a police record in Jamaica. That's one of the challenge that we have as persons in Jamaica. We seems to have, I recognize that a lot of persons have difficulties in understanding how we obtain a police record in Jamaica. Some person believe it's rocket science. If you're overseas, sometimes our relatives allow us to believe that it is rocket science for us to obtain a police record, and I reassure you that it's one of the easiest thing that you can do for yourself without going through any hassle, and understand the process of doing same to obtain such document. If you're joining us, remember to call us on 876-225-9478 and share your thoughts on today's discussion. Remember, you can listen live on rootsjamaica.com. Go follow us on Facebook at Roots FM Jamaica. Follow us on Instagram at Roots96.1 FM _Jamaica, and on Twitter at Roots_96 FM. Remember, you can WhatsApp us in 876-225-9478. The program is brought to you by New Budget Supplies, always the best prices. Thank you again, New Budget Supplies, for making St. Andrews South Beat possible as we work together to create better communities and build our Vision 2030. Vision 2030, for making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. We again spoke about supporting documents to getting your police record, the location of getting same, and the different agencies to facilitate same. We're going now into St. Andrew South Division. The division that we serve at this time, it's almost the end of the year and we're getting into a new year, and we want to give you a recap of some of the police that is serving your division and some of the help that you can get if you're having challenges within the division. We want to come this new year for us to work together as partners and to build better relationship for Vision 2030. And for that reason, we want to empower you with the police officers that is within your space that support you as we work together and look for your support. And we want to say thank you also from our commanding officer, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, who would have been here for the entire year with you and serving you with his police that is working with him. All right. One of the first person that you need to know, which I know some persons know, but we reinforce it, is our very own commanding officer that I just spoke about, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, the commander who is in charge of the division itself. One of the questions he asked, you said, what does the division comprise of? We have the Duane Park Police Station, we have the Hunts Bay Police Station, the Olympic Garden Police Station, and the Seaview Gardens Police Station. Those 4 police stations would have made St. Andrew South Division. Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts is the person who is in charge of all of those stations, and the police officer that support you within your space. If you need to communicate with Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, you can always call him on 876-818-6912. I repeat that for you. That's 876-818-6912. This is the person that will take you over to January 2023. This is a person that is thanking you for making it St. Andrew South Division. This is a person who will be with you next year unless our Commissioner of Police choose otherwise. But for now, he is a person that is with us, and we will serve it. We will work with him. We'll give him our strength and our support because he needs our love and support as we work together to create bigger and better communities for Vision 2030. Again, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, we thank you for your service, your attention, and the work, even though we know the challenges that you would have passed throughout the year 2022. You survive and you will make it through another year because you always have your strategic plan ready to serve the people of St. Andrew South. Now, that's a synopsis of our commanding officer, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts. Again, his number is 876-818-6912. Now we go to our next officer. We're talking about our management team now, who is our operations officer, none other than Superintendent Damian Mandison. Now you wonder, what's the operations officer does? He report to Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts. However, he's in charge of the men in blue, all those men that you see patrolling your area night and day, the ones that are always in the blue clothes, surfacing your area, communicating with you. If it is that you're having any challenges with any of these men, you can also call Superintendent Damian Mandison at 876-832-9082. That's 876-832-9082. 9082. Superintendent Damien Madison, who is a part of the management team, he also want to wish you happy holidays and hope that the next year, 2023, we can work together to create Vision 2030. So he look forward and say thanks to the people of St. Andrew South Division. Your station, let's talk about our zone commanders. Our zone commanders, there are 3 zones. We have Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. That's Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. What does it mean when we say Zone 1? We're talking about the Hunts Bay area. Zone 1, the Hunts Bay area. There's somebody who is in charge of the Hunts Bay area. None other than our Deputy Superintendent F. Francis. That's Deputy Superintendent of Police, Francis. You can always call him on 876-899-4716. So if you're in the Hunts Bay area and you're having challenges with any of our police, it's 876-899-4716. Zone 2 is Deputy Superintendent of Police S. Powell. That's a female who is presently on leave. So her deputy is Inspector McCullough, who you can always call in 876-453-2578. Zone 2 is the Seaview Garden area and the Olympic Garden area. So Zone 2 have 2 areas, which is the Seaview Garden and the Olympic Garden area. That is Zone 2. Zone 3, who is Deputy Superintendent of Police C. Minto, which is the Duane Park area. Now, if it is that you're within the Duane Park police area, Deputy Superintendent of Police C. Minto, you can always call him at 876-852-4605. That's 876-852-4605. And those are the persons who are responsible for Zone 1, 2, and 3. And that's our crime officer. How could I forget our crime officer? Deputy Superintendent Emford Wade Disby. Wade, who is in charge of CIB crime. So all the shooting, the murder, the investigation, PIU. Deputy Superintendent of Police H. Wade is in charge of that. If it is that you see where crime is coming high within your community, you can always call Deputy Superintendent of Police H. Wade at 876-822-1904. That's 876-822-1904. And that's our management team right there of the St. Andrew South Division. You have it all. You have the person who leads the St. Andrew South Division. You have their name, rank, and number. You can dial them at any given time. Before the crime, after the crime, between the crime, during the crime. We would prefer before the crime, if possible, proactive policing. If it is that we can save lives and we can have different direction with our people within our community, then it's best sometimes that we do proactive policing. If you can do that with and call our management team before the crime itself, it will be better for us. It will be better for our community. It will be better for our country, and it will be better for Vision 2030. So you have to know exactly the time to call these persons. At the station, the different stations that we spoke to you about, there is somebody who runs the station that is called the SOIC of the different stations. So when you go there, you can always ask for the persons. And those persons are inspectors who run the stations. So when you go to Olympic Garden or Seaview, you ask for Inspector McCullough. Why McCullough? The person who's in charge of the station. So if you have any challenges, then you can tell her first what your challenges are, and then she will try to assist you as best as possible. Duane Park Police Station, the station that I serve at this time, was Inspector Raquel Longmore, who is also the SOIC at that station. So you can always go there and ask for her if you're having any challenges as it relates to any challenges with the police or within your space. You have Inspector Shaw, who is at the Hunts Bay Police Station, a very vibrant inspector who is always ready and willing to give her service. You can always contact her and speak with her. Whatever challenges that you're having, she always tries to give you the time to listen to your cry. We, the police, spend time to hear your voice and to make decision as long as it is within law and order. Some persons, I always say that, and this is one of the things that I always say, that your thoughts is important. It is noted, it is counted, but your thoughts is not what the decision is made on any situation. If that was the case, then a lot of us will have a lot of thoughts and then we'll have chaos. So we work according to the laws of the land. I told one of our customer the other day that I listened to her thoughts, but she's fearful of something, but there's no evidence of her fear. The fear is within her thoughts, and that's okay, and nothing is wrong with that. But the laws of the land don't give me any authority to arrest, charge, or warn anyone because of your thoughts. Because you believe that if you believe that your neighbor don't like you, the laws of the land don't give me any power to go over there and ask him or her why is it that they don't like you. So we have to understand the role and the function of the police. Not because you believe or you think something, it gives the police the authority to go there and question the persons because you believe that they don't like you and they want to hurt you. You believe that. If it is, I would have explained that if it is that you believe that you're threatened by the person in any way, you can always go to the court's office and take out a summons and tell the judge what your thoughts are. They do have that power to whether to give you a restraining order or something based on the information. If the information goes with the law, then they won't move forward. So we always try to tell people that no matter how you believe or how you think, evidence is always important in making decision within the space, within the police force. Persons will come and say they believe sometimes that somebody took something from their house, but there are several persons in the house, but they believe that it is this individual person, and that's okay. You can always believe anything, but how do we put you before the court when it's your thoughts? The question that we'll ask sometimes, did you see at any time this person take up your things? No, you just believe it. So not because you believe it, we're going to charge or arrest the person or for your thoughts. So you have to bear in mind that some things are just your thoughts and they don't work hand in hand with the law. The law work with evidence, not how you feel. So the persons with the feelings who are coming because they feel that way, we can listen and we can make suggestions, but you can't lock up somebody because you feel them. Because if that was the case, a lot of person would be behind bars because everybody have their feelings. We all have our feelings. So that's not a case whereby you're going to arrest somebody because you have your thoughts. Our territorial office, who is manned by the same place, CSS, or Community and Safety Security, who is headed by Inspector Novlet Walters, and second by our very own host, who is not here today, Alex Bloomfield, which is an extremely, some people say it's soft policing, but it's not, because I myself, as a CSS person, And it is not soft policing. It's proactive policing. So if it is, and that's one of the things that I firmly believe, that once you have community-based policing within the space, then it can help to curb crime. If it is done properly and the community support us, then we can have proactive policing where we can stop crime before it actually take place. Or people within the community have to recognize their role and function as citizen within their community. If it is that you hide crime, you support crime, when someone goes out, whether you're a relative or not, and commit crime, murder someone, take things from people, rob, anything, and you support it. When you support these things, you hid everything. You wash the clothing or you burn them, and you spend the money and all of that. You're contributing to serious crime. Sometimes it is our relative and we love them. A writer said that love is eternal. The aspect may change, but not the essence. You have to realize that the essence of that love means that you have to give what is called tough love. Because if you don't do that, then automatically you're going to lose your loved one. One of the things that I always say, the acronym for DON is dying over nonsense. That's what I believe that and I have been around for quite some time, and I haven't changed that acronym, dying over nonsense, because every Don that I have seen, I have noted, and they die. When I do my investigation, I don't know why they die. It's over nonsense, because their death cannot prove that they die because of something, because everything that they think they die for is nonsense. It's nonsense. It doesn't make provision for them to be a better person. And sometimes the things, not sometimes, 99% of the time, the other 1% is their sanity, is they're fighting over something that don't belongs to them. It never did. They don't even know how it came by. They arrive, they see these things, they're fighting over turf. They don't have any title for the turf that they're fighting over. It don't belongs to them. It never did. So it's nonsense. It's not a case where they have worked hard. Sometimes the persons who would have passed away and leave, they're not even their ancestors. Sometimes the turf that they're fighting over belongs to the government. And they're dying over nonsense, over something that they have no idea. And what they don't realize, and this is one of the things that my people don't realize, is that they have the ability, they have the sense, they have the power, they have the knowledge to achieve so much that they don't even recognize who they are. They have everything that they can to achieve the very turf that they're fighting over. They can achieve more than that with their name, with their paper, with their sweat. The same sweat that they're hiding and behind bars and otherwise that they could have used to achieve for themselves. It's after when you are behind the bars, then you recognize the importance of your ability. Don't ever allow that. And some of the things that I'm saying to those Don that dying over nonsense, before you die over nonsense, think about the ability that you have that can make you a better person and somebody who can give to society and to yourself, because you have it. It is within you. It is within you, and you have that power, that same strength, that same energy that you use to do otherwise. You can use it to become a productive member of society, to your children, to yourself and to your community. I urge the community members to do proactive policing. I would have given you the number for the management team of St. Andrews South Division. You can always remember to communicate with these persons. If you miss the persons that I spoke about early on, I will give you back their contact so that you can write them down. Or commanding officer, Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, 876-818-6912. That's Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, 876-818-6912. Or Operations Officer, Superintendent Damian Mandison, 876-832-9082. You can always call these person or zone commanders, DSP Francis, 876-899-4716. DSP C Minto, 876-852-4605. Inspector McCullough, 876-453-2578. That's our zone commander, zone 1, 2, and 3. You can always call them to get proper information or give information, and of course our very own crime officer, DSP H. Wade, 876-822-1904. Or CSS officer, Inspector Walters. If it is that you want to join our police youth club, the schools, the safe schools, etc., neighborhood watch, which is a good policing aspect of community safety and to build Vision 2030. Inspector Walters can be contacted 876-848-9235. That's 876-848-9235. Inspector Walters, who man the community safety security section, which is I would say that other than operations, it's one of the pilot part of the JCF. The community safety security section is always involved in the whole process of the planning of any division. So I see the community safety and security section of one of the section that importance communication with citizens and all of that is essential to get a better process of how to deal with people across the division. And we ask you to communicate with our community safety and security brand. Again, this is St. Andrews South Beat. Remember to send your WhatsApp message at 876-225-9478 and share your thoughts in today's discussion. You remember to listen live on rootsjamaica.com. Go follow us on Facebook at Roots FM Jamaica. Follow us on Instagram at Roots96.1 FM _Jamaica or Twitter at Roots_96 FM. Remember, WhatsApp us in 876-225-9478. The program is brought to you by New Budget Supplies, always the best prices. Before we go, because we're coming to the end of the program, as we're working together to create better communities and build our Vision 2030. Vision 2030 for making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. Again, remember, as we thank the person who are working with us today, Alex, who is not well. I hope that you are feeling well, and I do miss you, Alex. Hope you feel better. I know we won't be on the program till next year again. That when you and I meet again for another program of St. Andrews South Beat, we thank our studio engineer who is in studio, who is making this possible. We thank Roots for making St. Andrews South Beat for 1 year, January 2022, December 2022, our last day to renew a new year for next year with our program. The St. Andrew South Division, led by our Senior Superintendent, Kirk Ricketts, would like to say thanks to Roots for making it St. Andrew South Beat. Once again, we thank you. This is St. Andrew South Beat. Thank you.
New budget supplies, massive rice buster now on. Want to redo that kitchen? Retile that old floor? Stop that leaking roof? Make over the bathroom? It's now or never. White toilet